Hey everyone, I'm Bill. I'm with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Eurocycle Sonoma, where they've been dumb enough to give me the keys to this 2020 MV Agusta Supervolce 800. And I will say it looks as good as it does in the pictures and video that it does in person. This thing looks absolutely beautiful. And like I said, they've given me the keys, so that means we get to get out on the open road with this thing. So let's take a look around this beautiful Supervolce. Let's get it out on the twisties and see how it does out on the open road. All right, I just gotta take a minute to take a look at this thing. Wow, just amazing. The cool details of this bike, the gold trellis frame, the gold wheels to match the frame, the triple exhaust, the tail with the tail light, all the little details like the red leather wrapped seat, the red leather stitching, the leather belt, the very cool retro style mirrors, and this front. Oh, this front just, this is what has me right here. LED blinkers, LED little running light there. It's just a great looking bike. So let's go ahead and go over the statistics on this bike. Obviously we have dual Brembo free floating calipers and 320 rotors in the front. We have 17-inch wheels front and back. We are wrapped in the Corsa, the Rosa Corsa 2 tires, and we are running a 180/55 for the rear. Again, all LED lighting, which is very nice. Front blinkers look a tad long, but that's all right. And then the beautiful Supervolce. But this gold trellis frame looks just phenomenal. This thing houses the 798 cc, so almost 800 cc displacement triple motor, producing what do they say, 148 horsepower, about 85 pound-feet of torque. So it's got a little bit of go. Suspension, all analog suspension, no digital suspension, but you know, very nice Sachs suspension. The exhaust, obviously they have the exhaust option that you can go with the performance exhaust, probably not allowed in California, but who knows. Back to the tail. Now this is where it's going to get tricky, because we've got our plate here that bolts to the swing arm, and a single-sided swing arm, which is very nice. But how do we get the tail and the tail lights back up there? So that's the tricky part. Full up and down quick shifter. Rear sets look like they're going to be nice and easy to replace. Passenger pegs, very nice and easy to remove, except they killed it right at the end when they mounted the exhaust on here. Now, I'll say the digital gauge cluster that MV Agusta has come up with is just very, very stunning looking. It's very, very nice. Cruise control, all of the, you know, all of the mode buttons and everything are somewhat clearly marked. So we've got our blinkers, high beams, low beams, 7 miles on this thing. And like I said, I can't believe that they're actually letting me ride this thing, but we're gonna get this thing out on the twisties and see how the new 2020 Supervolce does out on the open road. Well, here it is, the 2020 Supervolce by MV Agusta. Again, huge shout out to Zach. Zach, thank you, sir. Stupid. For letting me ride this thing. Now they do have the red and silver one. They also have a black one, which looks really, really cool. I love the black and the gold. But I don't even know where to start with this thing, because it's so cool, and there's just so much to this bike. So first, let's get this thing started up and into the instrument cluster, the new MV Agusta cluster. I absolutely love it. And we've gotten rid of some of the doggles that were an issue in the past, I see. So a little better system here for your traction controls and your ABS, and we can add in some different settings. So let's get out of this one, and There we go, exit. So we've got traction control off. So let's go ahead into traction control 2. All right, I wanted some traction control. So we're in sport mode, ABS 1, traction control 2. Very just nice cluster. So let's go ahead and get out on this open road and see how this thing does in the twisties. Now, one of the things I noticed right off is it has a cable clutch. I would have expected a hydraulic clutch. I don't know why I would have expected that, but it just felt like the bike should have had a hydraulic clutch, but I don't know. 800 cc's, or just under 800 cc's. Now let's get rid of some of the stats on the bike real quick while we're heading up to our spot to ride. Seat height on this thing is just above 32 inches. Now my inseam's 32 inches, so I seem to fit somewhat nice on this. Somewhere around 430 pounds dry, I believe, without any fuel or anything. So maybe I don't know, you add 15 pounds for fuel and fluids and stuff like that. Just over a 4-gallon tank, so I think we're dealing with a 4.3 gallon tank. Yeah, we don't need the clutch, so it does have quick shifter up and down. And this thing revs up to 13,000 RPMs, which is mad. It's so crazy. But I guess, I'm used to kind of the larger CC bikes, so into the somewhat smaller, get that higher rev count out of it. Now the comfort on this thing, let's address that. It's not comfortable at all. The seat is pretty much like you're sitting on the trellis frame. There's not much cushion to the seat, but it looks good. Now I'll say I do like the two-tone seat with the red back passenger seat. Kind of makes it look very nice and uniform on the rear seat, like almost like it's got a rear cowl. Now I do want to also just try to get out of the traction control modes, because it's a little bit distracting, because I'm seeing the big 2 and I'm thinking, what gear am I in? So that's a little bit distracting. So let's see if I can quickly So we're going through, the different menus. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So a lot of the different menus, and then we've got exit, and then we've got push and hold, and back into all right, well, I thought MV had fixed some of their issues with the menus, but I know that when we rode the dragster, the little toggle was an issue, but this thing doesn't seem to want to go into different modes. So if you have to fuss too much on a menu, it's not, it shouldn't have to be explained enough that you should be able to figure it out. I know a lot of you guys will bash me for not doing my homework prior to, but there are a lot of things I don't like to do homework on, because I want to see how simple this bike is to get on and just be able to ride. And so one of the things with the mode button is you should be able to get right on the mode and figure out how to change your modes and stuff like that. So it's got a quick little rev. The clutch feels very weird. There's some little bit of play in it, but every time I shift, I can feel the bike shift in the clutch, which is odd. So I don't know, it's kind of a little weird. Now, the ergonomics of the bike looks very cool on paper, but let's get realistic. I can't get behind this windscreen at all. There is no windscreen at all. So the upper of the bike is very impractical. Now the weight feels very nice. It feels very nimble and actually handles really well. And it's got some growl to it. And it's got a little something for wheelies. But the ergonomics to be able to get behind this thing, I can't get down low enough and see out of the top of my helmet to get behind this windscreen. There's virtually no windscreen, which is odd. Brakes very nice. It's got a little go to it. Now, this does come available with a optional exhaust system, and I'll say the noise that you're hearing out of this bike really isn't it's an intake noise. There's not much exhaust noise out of this, so I'm assuming that there's a big cat down below underneath this, and I'm assuming we're on Euro 5 here in the US and on the MVs now, and I'm assuming that they sacrifice the intake noise for the exhaust noise, meaning that this thing produces so many decibels out of the intake that they had to silence it by getting it taken out of the exhaust. So they've done so pretty well. You don't hear the exhaust much at all. You hear this big growl out of the intake, almost like the BMW S1000 RR. You know, they kind of sacrifice that exhaust sound for an intake sound. I mean, there's virtually no exhaust sound out of this at all. The mirrors, I don't know. And the mirrors are about a 50-50 for me on these mirrors. I do like the bar-in mirrors because of how practical they are, but they seem to move a little bit. And they're big. They're big and pretty bulky. So I'm not sure I like the mirrors. But I'm not sure that I would like mirrors sticking out of here either. So I'm not sure what the sacrifice is. Do we like mirrors up here, or do we want the bar-in mirrors? Suspension feels decent up in the twisties, a little bit harsh off the showroom floor right now. It's definitely hard, and the tush isn't liking it as much because there's not much of a seat, and you know, you feel there's a little cushion on the seat, but I don't know. Now, it does have cruise control, which is nice, so we can see if we can turn on cruise control. So push and hold. Oh, that's a speed limiter. Oh, that's kind of nice. You guys got a little speed limiter and then cruise controls above it. So that was kind of a little confusing. So now that we know that, so push and hold the cruise control. Cruise control set at 43 miles an hour. Oh, MV, you guys have some work to do on your intuitiveness of the instrument clusters and your buttons, because it's like, what do? I don't understand. But on the flip side, let's be honest, do you guys really buy an MV Agusta for the ride? We kind of always joke about it. I don't know, I can't figure out the cruise control, but we kind of joke about, you know, MV Agustas are really just a living room piece. But it's God, every time I get on one, I really want to love it more and more, but it's just, I don't know why we haven't been able to figure out the simple things. Oh, maps. Oh, look at, they've got the same problem that they have with the Aprilia. You've got to push and hold the starter button, which is a button that, at least it's labeled, so I'll give them that. But you have to push the starter button in order to get into the maps. And then now I'm like in rain, so it's... I don't know, I'm like so confused. Well, I think we managed to find our way into race mode. Oh, that woke it up. Oh, that woke it up a little bit. That's nice. Oh, race mode was where it was, man. Well, not much statistics on the bike. Sorry guys for the ride. It's not very informational on this one. But some of them you win, some of them you lose. But I'll say, this is what I'll say about this bike. Let's stop and let's get off and let's look at this bike, because that's where... Oh, that's cool. Okay, flip that back. Figured something out. Blinkers, horns, high beams, low beams. This is where this bike shines right here. The look of it in the living room. It looks gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I just don't like the rideability of it. And look at how thin, so you can see the seat is super thin. There's almost virtually no padding on that thing. So not the best of rides, but how many times do you get a chance to ride an MV Agusta Supervolce? And like I said, they've got the black one, which actually I really like the black one with the gold personally. I like that style a lot better. But we've been on the dragsters before, and the dragsters have this, on the older ones, they had like this toggle switch, which, oh, it's right here. It's just not very intuitive, but and the front end of this bike looks really, really cool, but I feel like it should have been up a little bit higher to make it a little bit more practical. But the 2020 MV Agusta Supervolce Zach Eurocycle here in Sonoma, they have the red one in stock available for sale, and they have the black one available. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and go easy on me on the comments, because this is a little bit hard bike to get onto and really want to love. But I love the way it looks. I love the way it sounds. Exhaust, if we had some exhaust on this thing, I would have liked it a little bit better. But this thing just looks amazing. So thanks guys for watching the video, and we will see you guys next video. Bye guys.